off a daily fantasy. His number's too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS Bachelor. Good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS Sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS Bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host, the DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fanduel and Draftkings single game showdown for Thursday night football. A real barn burner between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears from Soldier Field. First things first, a big thank you for all your support, all your kind words, making me a part of your day, whether it be the NBA, the NFL, whether you're following my content over at Sportsbook Review with my guy Donnie and all the co-hosts over there. A big thank you to you all. I really appreciate it. It's really, really humbling. It truly is. My mind is blown every day by the support, so thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. If you are so inclined to do so, get access to all of our content, NFL, all sorts of videos for NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, main slate, first looks, all sorts of stuff, giveaways. We do a $50 weekly PayPal giveaway. All you have to do to qualify for that is like the video, which helps the channel more than you know. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section, and you qualify. We announce that winner every week on Saturday mornings. Final look video that I do with my dude Donnie Seymour over from Sportsbook Review. And that's brought to you by our friends at Tax Relief Advocates, making your tax debt disappear. $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, student loans, whatever you have going on where the IRS is taking your money, give them a call. They will sort you out. 1-800-411-9633. Be sure to tell them the DFS Bachelor sent you over there. As usual, if you want access to my player pool, cheat sheets, weekly rankings, wide receiver, cornerback matchups, cheat sheets for NBA, Major League Baseball. When hockey's back, we do it for hockey as well. Plus, you get my player pool. You can use it in the lineup optimizer, the mass lineup generator. Tons of great research tools telling you snaps, touches, targets, rushes. In NBA, usage rates, history versus the team. In baseball, batter versus pitcher, pitcher versus batter. Weighted OPS, all sorts of great research information. And my player pool, plus all the cheat sheets. You can click that link in the video description below and try Draft Dashboard right now for 30 days for $1. Hey, and as soon as the NFL season ends, we're going to be right back in the NBA season, so you'll just carry right on through. So lots of good stuff there. Don't forget to check out my friends over at overlaydfs.com. That new matchup shop is so much fun. Parlay your picks. Turn little bits of money into big amounts of money just by picking your picks and using a spread with the players. You have your typical normal matchups as well. All sorts of good stuff at Overlay DFS as well. So let's jump into this. And we got a lot of injuries. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. As soon as I know tomorrow who's in, who's out, I'll have it up there on my Twitter feed. So it's important tomorrow. There's just a lot going on. We already know for the Bucs that Leonard Fournette is doubtful, most likely won't play. Chris Godwin is out. Justin Watson is out. For the Bears, we've got some questionable guys. Mooney, one of their wide receivers, is questionable. So there's just a lot of stuff. We already know Tariq Cohen's out for the year, so lots of stuff over there. Injury-wise, Mike Evans is questionable, of course, for Tampa Bay. So there's a lot to get into. As I always say in these slates, if you're playing tournaments and you're trying to finish all alone at the top and you're not trying to tie with a bunch of people and you want to be unique, one of the most useful ways you can do that is just leaving a little bit of salary on the table. 80 to 90% of casual players are inclined to use all of their salary. So just doing that goes a long way. And as usual, the majority of the time, 71, 72, 73% of the time, it's a running back or a wide receiver in that captain spot on DraftKings. Now, FanDuel's a little different because they don't charge the 1.5 times the salary for the captain spot. It's just standard, and it's only a half point per reception as opposed to a full point per reception. So that's very important to keep in mind when you do these slates. So let's get into the picks. We got our quarterbacks. We've got Brady and Foles. Both of these teams have been terrific against opposing quarterbacks. Chicago, number 2 in the league through the first 4 weeks against opposing quarterbacks in terms of fantasy points allowed. And Tampa Bay, number 4. Now, Brady looked great last week. He's actually looked really good the past couple of weeks. The only problem is he's an older guy, 43 years old, on a short week. Minus Godwin, could be without Evans, no Fournette. We saw O.J. Howard. He's out for the year now as well, so his weapons are limited. Now, in this sort of slate, when you start talking about all those good players who are hurt, of course, Tom Brady's in play. He's 11-2 on DraftKings. He's $15K on Fanduel. He's the most expensive player on the slate. I'm going to have exposure to him, but you should temper your expectations in this sort of game, and it's the same thing for Nick Foles. The problem for Nick Foles is his favorite target, Allen Robinson's going to see a ton of Carlton Davis on the outside. And, of course, without Tariq Cohen, I don't think Nick Foles looked all that great against the top-rated Colts defense last week. This Tampa Bay defense is very good. So I don't think you're going to be seeing any 30s out of these two games. We got a total at 43.5. I won't be shocked if this game goes under that total. Now, it looks like nice weather in Soldier Field tomorrow, so that's one sort of benefit for the over. And we've seen a lot of high-scoring games this year. But, boy, oh, boy, it's going to be tough for a lot of points to be scored by these two teams, but I will have some slight exposure to both quarterbacks. Right now, I favor the road guy and Tom Brady. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out. Nick Foles sucks. I've been saying it for years. I don't understand the fascination with Nick Foles. He's plenty of times been my window licker of the night, of the day, and it won't shock me if he's that again tomorrow. I thought he looked like shit against the Colts, quite frankly. I just didn't think he looked all that great, and quite frankly, he never does. He had, a nice little run with the Eagles to the Super Bowl and that one good season years ago with the Rams, but other than that, Nick Foles fucking sucks. That's just how it is. At running back, this is where you're going to have a ton of exposure. There's going to be high ownership here, and I think it makes a ton of sense. You want David Montgomery, 7-8 on DraftKings, 11,000 on FanDuel. I was encouraged by the 6 targets. Without Tariq Cohen, they just don't have anyone else they're going to play at running back. You might see some Ryan Nall tomorrow because it's a short week, so he could be one of those $200 sleepers, if you will. If you're looking to be really, really different, Ryan Nall could be an interesting sleeper type guy. Then you got Ronald Jones. He got 20 carries last week, was targeted 9 times. With Justin Watson out, Scotty Miller's banged up, he's going to play. Mike Evans is banged up, will probably play, but super banged up. No Godwin, no Howard. Ronald Jones is going to be a heavy part of this team. Now, Tampa Bay this year, 9th against opposing running backs, and there's no surprise there. They've been terrific against the run for the past couple of seasons. You've got the Bears 17th against opposing running backs, a little bit more vulnerable. I like Ronald Jones slightly more than David Montgomery, but I can see a lot of lineups where I'm going to have exposure to both running backs, and they both certainly have captain spot potential in that spot. And if you're looking for one guy, I talked about Ryan Nall, but if you're looking for a guy who's really probably going to see some plays, he had 3 carries, 3 targets, got in the end zone, put up 11 DraftKings points last week. Keyshawn Vaughn, the rookie, 1,000 on DraftKings. Let me see what he's at over here on FanDuel. I would imagine he's minimum salary, 7,000 on FanDuel. So I think that's a little expensive on FanDuel, quite frankly. Don't know if I'll go there, but I do like the 1,000 price on DraftKings if you're looking for a sleeper at the running back position from Keyshawn Vaughn, the rookie. If we go to wide receivers, we talked about the injury situations already. Allen Robinson is going to be very popular, 10-6 on DraftKings. He's sitting over here at, I believe he's the second most expensive wide receiver with Chris Godwin out. He's 11-5 on FanDuel. First of all, love that price for Allen Robinson on FanDuel. Now, the real problem is Carlton Davis is a terrific shadow corner. If we look at the wide receiver quarterback matchups, Allen Robinson lines up on the perimeter 65% of the time. Now, when he goes into the slot, you probably won't see Carlton Davis shadow him. So unless Matt Nagy makes a schematic adjustment and moves Allen Robinson around a little bit into the slot, it's going to be tough. Carlton Davis is a terrific fantasy corner, only allowing 0.21 fantasy points per route ran against. When he's in shadow coverage on more than 12 routes per game against a receiver, against the likes of Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, this year giving up 11 catches, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown through 4 weeks. Carlton Davis is tough. It's going to be tough sledding for Allen Robinson. Tampa Bay 13th against opposing wide receivers. The Bears have been even tougher, number 3 so far, against opposing wide receivers. And again, we talked about the injury situation. So if Mike Evans and Scotty Miller play, you'll see them on the field. Then who is going to be the next wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucks? It's going to be guys like Tyler Johnson, okay, playing 33% of the snaps. Hasn't even been fucking targeted this year. Jaden Mickens has played 5%. 1 snap. He's played 2 snaps. Those guys are down here at 200. If you're looking for some deep sleepers, that could be a way to go. Other than that, if Evans is healthy, I do like Mike Evans. Again, it's a tough matchup. He's going to see Kyle Fuller, who has given up 0.34 fantasy points per out ran against. In the slot, you'll see Scotty Miller in the slot quite a bit if he plays, and he's going to see Buster Skrine, who's given up 0.35. Teams are throwing the ball quite a bit against Chicago. Evans and Miller would be the way I would go if you're looking for some sleepers down there. Then, of course, I talked about Mickens and Tyler Johnson, but my goodness, that's really, really risky. For Chicago, in the slot, Anthony Miller, he's 6'4" on DraftKings. I don't mind that play. That's kind of where you want to attack Tampa Bay. Sean Murphy Bunting has absolutely been lit up, giving up 0.76 fantasy points per out run against in the slot. So I think Anthony Miller is kind of a sneaky play tomorrow. I think he's a sneaky captain play. You just kind of have to rely on Nick Foles to get him the ball. He's 9.5 on Fanduel. Anthony Miller, low owned in the captain spot. Now, it's risky, but if you're trying to be different and you're looking for a matchup and you're looking to save some salary so you can pay up and maybe get a Brady and those 2 running backs and maybe another high-priced guy, Anthony Miller at captain could be interesting. You heard it here. Now, if it goes out there and puts up nothing, then, you guys can all tell me I'm stupid, but I'm just telling you on paper, and if you're trying to be different and you're playing tournaments, I think it's an interesting captain spot look. And then you look at another guy who was targeted 9 times last week, sort of came out of nowhere, Darnell Mooney. Now, he is questionable in this game. I believe he was a full participant in practice today. He's going to see a lot of Jamel Dean, who's been pretty good this year, giving up 0.27 fantasy points per out ran against. But Darnell Mooney could be another one of those low-priced captain spot guys who, if he's targeted 9 times, you're getting him at $4,600 regular price. So in the captain spot, you're talking about, what, $6,900? It's different. In tournaments, I like the play. I'm kind of looking for that route. I'm going all or nothing. I'm not going to go the easy route tomorrow. I might have a couple chalky lineups, but the ones I'll be rooting for are my Anthony Miller and Darnell Mooney captain spots, maybe some Scotty Miller, but I think that'll be more popular than we all think. Mike Evans, of course, and Robinson certainly have some consideration there as well. And if you're looking for another guy under 1,000 who's playing about a quarter of the snaps, especially if Mooney's a little banged up, you could see some more Ted Ginn. That's right, Ted Ginn's in Chicago. Who knew? He's been targeted 5 times the last couple of weeks. 4 and 3 DraftKings points, respectfully. All it takes is one play from Ted Ginn. He still has that speed there. So Ted Ginn could be an interesting boomer bust sort of tournament option in that passing game as well. Let's go to the tight end position. It's pretty straightforward. Jimmy Graham for the Bears, playing a ton of snaps. He's been really effective. Had that huge game the week before last. Then last week, targeted 5 times for a 7 against a very tough Colts defense. Tampa Bay is 11th against opposing tight ends. Chicago, a little more vulnerable, 20th against opposing tight ends. Of course, Gronk at 5,800 is the way you want to go there. And if I'm looking on Fanduel at his price, Rob Gronkowski and Jimmy Graham, we have them at 8,000 and 7,500. So I like both of those guys on Fanduel quite a bit as well. If you're looking for a red zone sort of boom or bust type guy, especially now that O.J. Howard is out, Cameron Brate, we've seen it in years past with Winston. He's a red zone monster. 1 catch last week, and guess what? It's 4 fucking touchdowns. That's what Cameron Brate always does. He's a poacher. So at 3,800, you could do a whole lot worse. Let me see what his price is over here on FanDuel. 6,000 on FanDuel. I like that on FanDuel. And then everyone else now. I mean, I know Demetrius Harris is playing about 43% of the snaps for Chicago. A couple of targets. He's sitting there at 400 if you want to get real jiggy with it. There you go. You can get crazy with that. Kickers, of course, they're both in play. Especially a game where you expect some defenses to tighten up. Drives, stall. Kickers are way too often in winning lineups. I wish they would just get rid of the kicker thing in fantasy. I don't understand it. It's douchey as hell, but there you go. Ryan Suckup and Cairo Santos both in play. I prefer Ryan Suckup right now. The Bears are pretty good in the red zone, and so kickers are kicking points, and he's got 7, 8, 9, and 8. The Bears 26th against opposing kickers. For whatever that's worth, and Cairo Santos for the Bears at 4K, and then on FanDuel they're their typical prices. You can tell how excited I am to talk about fucking kickers. 9,000 and 8.5. Always. It's either 9,000 and 8.5 or 9.5 and 9K. It's every freaking week. There we go. And then we get to the defenses. More interested in defenses this week than usual. I do like the Tampa Bay defense more, even though they're on the road. Obviously, Tom Brady is just much better than Nick Foles. Now, of course, we're talking about that Super Bowl rematch from a few years back, and Nick Foles actually outdueled Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady caught that receiving touchdown. Oh, boy. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'll have exposure to the defenses. It's not my favorite thing to do, and trust me, at the beginning of this contest, you are going to see a bunch of people who put the defense in the captain spot, and they're all happy because they're in first place. Then when some points get scored, they fall down. This week, there's actually is some consideration for that if Nick Foles falls apart. 5-4 on DraftKings, 4-4 for the Bears. I guess, again, on Fanduel, there is no defenses. Thank you to Fanduel for that at least. So that's our look right now at the Thursday Night Football slate. Again, don't forget, if you want my entire player pool, cheat sheet, write-up, predictions, everything, click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool is you will simply click on your Watched Players tab from over here in the sub menu. When you do, you'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. That will highlight my player pool. That'll do that for MLB and NBA as well right now that are going on. And then if you wish to maybe compare my watch players to yours or use my player pool in the lineup optimizer, you certainly can. Click the lineup optimizer here, the mass lineup generators here, the late swap optimizer. If there's a late scratch and you've got a bunch of lineups with, say, Mike Evans, and they say, okay, Mike Evans isn't going to play. You've got 10 minutes. You've got to replace Mike Evans in a bunch of lineups. You can upload those lineups from DraftKings and FanDuel into Draft Dashboard, re-optimize with the late swap optimizer, and then re-upload them back in. Make sure you click the single game here. So on DraftKings, this is an early, just kind of an example it shows you here. Jimmy Graham at the captain spot, no problem with that. Allen Robinson, Ronald Jones, Suckup, Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady. Got 600 left on the table. I think that's fine. And you can do the same thing for FanDuel. Again, don't forget to click. Try it for 30 days for $1. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Qualify for that $50 PayPal giveaway. Also, tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, I will be live over at Sportsbook Review. You see the backdrop with my guy Donnie Seymour. We go over all of our bets for Week 5, including Thursday Night Football, a few prop bets for the game as well. So be sure to check that out. I have a link in the video description for that also. Don't forget to check out my friends at Overlay DFS. And if you're having trouble with the IRS, you're getting your checks garnished, things are happening, call my dudes over at Tax Relief Advocates. A big thank you to them for sponsoring that giveaway. Big cheers to you all. Thank you all so much for your support. May the fantasy gods be with you all. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow night. After the football game, I'll have our Game 5 NBA Finals single game pick as well as my Lakers go for the gentleman's sweep. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.